Hello everyone. It's Perilla here again with another conversation where, well, we drink coffee or we drink something else what we fancy. I'm personally a coffee addict, so it's a coffee for me. And we talk all things Atlantis Crystal Healing. And today my guest is the wonderful Maris. And I know you are in a very, very special place at the moment in Santa Fe. So maybe just a few words about that to start off with.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the desert, close to the turquoise mines. I just found this little silver pendant and it
Oh,
has
wow.
this turquoise in it. I think it's the biggest turquoise mine, definitely in the state of New Mexico. I don't know about in the US, but they have a lot of, they found gold here and turquoise, and there's different gemstones that you can find here, beryl and epido, I don't know what that is in English. I found one. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it for crystal healers. That's great. People that are into crystals, I always wanted to find my own. So I'm always looking.
Yeah.
Earth years were really special.
Yeah. And have you found many so far?
I found one. I found an epido. It's a green and red stone. Do you want me to show you?
Oh, if you can quickly, yeah.
So these grow underground is what I've learned, and it must have gotten washed. It must have gotten washed out from underneath the earth, and then I found it in a riverbed.
All
So
right.
it's spelled Epiot.
Quite interesting. It's in the riverbed, but it has some edges. It's not the smooth one as you sometimes see in the riverbed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And another guy who found fluorite, a huge piece of it.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know what to do with it. He had it on the back of his motorcycle. Yeah. I love that.
Amazing. So for how long are you there?
I don't know. I've been here for 4 weeks. I will probably be here for a few more. I don't know exactly. Yeah.
And I remember we spoke last time a while ago, but you had the plans to return to America, as in living there?
I returned already to America. I'm not going back to Germany.
Oh, right, right.
No, I don't know where I'm going to be staying yet. So right now I'm
Okay.
here.
Wow.
I'm
What
here.
a freedom, but definitely America. So before you were in Houston, Texas, right?
Yeah, I lived in Houston, Texas for 3 years, and before that I lived in Florida for 3 years, and then Tampa Bay.
So somewhere, perhaps in the south of America, people can meet you.
I just need a donkey and my stuff, and then I can travel around.
So meeting you is for the really determined ones. The ones who really are very certain and sure that they want to meet you.
You can meet me online.
Yeah, thanks God that works. That works for everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So back to Atlantis Crystal Healing. You've been a crystal healer for quite some time, I believe.
Yeah.
Do you have your best ways how you introduce people who come to see you for appointments or for sessions or workshops? How do you introduce them with Atlantis Crystal Healing? How do you say in 3 words what it is or how it's different from other types of crystal healing?
Well, I feel like it's way more powerful than other types of crystal healing. And we have to go through a lot of training to even be able to become an Atlantis crystal healer. We have to work within the divine law. We don't just do something because we think, it's a good idea, but we actually listen to the guidance, and which, really you have to have if you do powerful work, is my feeling. And Well, I use it when people come to me. It's one of the things in my toolbox, really. And what I like about it is you don't always have to explain so much, because a lot of people, like especially when they're new clients, they don't feel so comfortable talking about their problems, and sometimes it's abuse, things like that that they just don't feel, or their shame or something. Um, they don't feel comfortable about. And really, if I work with somebody, they don't have to tell me anything. Um, or they can say, this is what I would like. And then I can say, okay, this is what we can do. And they can lay down and relax. And then usually they feel it, um, you know, feel some tweaks or something in their body where they can feel like the energy is resolving. So they do have if they're attentive enough with themselves and in their own body, they can feel what's going on after the blockage, for example, has been resolved. So
Get what you were saying, but it's not needing to talk too much, or that yeah, that we can bypass all the stories and getting too involved in all the stories. Mm. Do you have an area that you feel more passionate about in terms of what you work?
Yeah, I've mainly coached women for most of my life. And then I realized that most of the women that come to me are kind of like me. They're like business women, high strung, they're, successful, and they have a lot of masculine energy. They're always like, go, 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 go. But then they have a hard time receiving and letting themselves be taken care of. And that, makes it difficult to really be happy in a relationship with a man, because yeah, it just takes some understanding and rewiring to be more in that feminine role, which we long for, but have a hard time stepping into. Yeah, so, a lot of that evolves around trauma, where we felt like we have to be strong, or that's the outcome of it. But anyway, so I go deep into like childhood stuff, or maybe even past life stuff, to help the woman really make that connection with herself, um, release the trauma, and then also help her set healthy boundaries, but also feel herself again. So like all the things that I've learned, kind of like, embodiment work, healing work, all that kind of ties in together now.
Yeah, so you're helping women to be women.
Yes, yeah. Yes, because I noticed that, one, not everybody is the same. That's really important to know. And then a man is not the same as a woman. And we when we first engage, we think the other one is just like us. And then we realize, no, there's like big gap, and then how do you bridge that gap also in sexuality? So yeah,
Mm.
that's what my passion is, because I've been with my husband for 22 years now, and I've gone through all that. I've thought about breaking up more than I wanted to, but I found a way to
Yeah.
not have to split up, and because we have kids, and it was just really
Mm.
important to me to find a way through that.
Mm. And you have women's groups as well, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I have a Wild Woman Circle where we do that embodiment work and that intuitive movement, and getting that stress and those traumas that's stored in our cells out of our bodies. We do that with crystal healing too, but it's also really important for the woman to make that connection with her own body, and allow herself to feel everything that has been repressed over the
Mm.
years, because we're too much, or we're too wild, or we're too too whatever. And so there's a safe space or sacred space to allow yourself to tap into that and get it out of your system.
Mm. Yeah, because I think in society we are so trained to think our feelings, but not really to feel our feelings. And
Yes.
it's amazing what can happen when we actually allow ourselves to this experience of actually acknowledging and feeling what we feel. And I think Atlantis Crystal Healing is so much about the body. It's not just something in spiritual realms or something far-fetched or a concept to grasp. It's very much about here now in the body, health as in physical health, mental, emotional health. And I guess that's what I like about
Yeah.
Atlantis Crystal Healing. It really brings it all sort of together.
Yes.
And kind of
I agree. Mhm.
that there is no separation really. It's all together.
Yeah, it's really helpful to you know, get some of that major stuff out of the way that prevents you from really embodying your soul, being in this body. Sometimes there's so much trauma, so much pain that your soul is like, no thanks, I'm staying out here, or I'm just like 10% here.
Mm.
So the Atlantis crystal healing, I feel like, helps especially with resolving that trauma and those blockages, where the soul can breathe again and come more into the body. And then of
Mm.
course, you want to get your body more fluid and unstuck. That's another thing. You want to be more expressive, not always the
Mm.
nice girl, but also the
Yeah.
wild woman. So there's a different
Mm.
aspects, but
Mm. I,
especially bringing the soul into a body is one really
oh.
really important thing, and that's what we're really good at, I would say.
Yes, so yeah. Do you have any treatments like, in your toolbox, sort of like that they keep coming up? Oh, that you use them more than the others because there are just so many, of course. And
Mhm.
I think so far I'm hearing that every practitioner has like their top list of things that they return to, that they use more than the others maybe. What's in your top list?
Well, I think one of the things that I use a lot is the uh, removing blockages with the Herkimer diamonds,
Yeah.
where we find a blockage either physically or in the aura, and we will place those diamonds there, and then we have a mantra to
Yeah.
release that blockage there. So, and then that has an effect on the chakras or on the rest of the body. And that is really, really powerful. And I've had big success with that. And I have another story from another colleague of ours that you probably haven't interviewed, but there was a young boy that came to her after the parents had already been to every doctor in town, and that boy wouldn't speak.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like 8 or 9 or something already. And then our colleagues saw that he was hung up by his throat in a past life, so he still had that thing energetically around his neck. And so with that technique she resolved that, and after that the boy started to speak. So that's how powerful that is.
Mm. Wow.
Also emotions that have become so strong that they have a physical impact now on our bodies. So what our teacher Deborah said, when once the emotion becomes strong enough, you feel it enough, eventually it somatizes into the body, and then you have a physical blockage. So that's a really good way to
Mm.
release that. Yeah.
Mm. So anything else in your super toolbox?
Super toolbox. Superwoman. Super toolbox. Another thing that might be important for the listeners to know is that with Atlantis crystal healing, it's relatively easy. There is distortion from a scar, but then you bring the cells have forgotten their memory, and it cuts your meridians, or there it impacts the flow of energy in your body. So for example, from C-section I have a scar, and I remember in the training that we did the technique with a black obsidian bowl and
Yeah, the
the
cellular healing.
cellular healing, yes,
Yeah.
and the light crystal. And so when they did that on me, that had been 6 months after my child was born, so it had
Mm.
healed physically. But when they did it, I felt like I was fresh out of the hospital for like 5 minutes. And then, it healed. And there was also the emotion
Yeah,
um, that they
attached
worked
to it.
on, because I felt like I wasn't able to properly give birth to my child. That was a big trauma. So I remember that very vividly. And I've used it as well for any area, either for teeth or for, if there's too much crap in your liver that has built up, or yeah, any scars. That's a
Mm.
great tool for
Yeah,
healing.
that's one of my favorites as well, the
Yeah.
cellular healing,
Over
because
the years that I've been doing this work now, I'm really surprised at how much memory our body
mm,
keeps, how much trauma we have, how much stuff we carry in our system. It's really helpful to get rid of some of that stuff. And Atlantis Crystal Healing is like really best tool for that, at least of the ones that I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, second that. I mean, especially I noticed that with women, we somehow really take this mission of carrying stuff. the, yeah,
Yeah.
the mission.
Yeah, and it can just be really, treatment can be really relaxing and really recharging as well. It's almost like wellness, at least some of them.
Mm,
Chakra healing.
yeah.
So my clients really enjoy that.
Mm. So you work mostly online these days, as
Yes.
many of us do.
Yes, yes, almost exclusively. And I've realized that it's a lot easier for me because I don't have to clean my home. I don't even have to have a home, you know. It's just the whole process is so much easier, and it works just as well. I really can't tell a difference other than it takes a few more minutes after I've done the actual treatment online until the person feels the effects of it. Like when I'm there with them in person, they can feel it immediately. When it's online, it takes like 2 or 3 minutes until
Mm-hmm.
it
It
reaches
kicks
them.
in, sort of. Mm.
But other than that, it's surprisingly equal. I mean, I have clients in the States, I have clients in Germany, I've worked with people in Greece, and you know, just they couldn't work with me if I didn't do it online. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very grateful for this opportunity as well that we can do it.
crystal healing is, I feel like, is out of this world. It's like super great support that many are not aware of. I started to be interested in crystals when I was 6 years old.
Mm.
I had an uncle that lived in Ida Oberstein. He was a old-fashioned pharmacist, and he had started to bring me my first crystals, and he showed me how to do healing with the crystals.
Oh, wow.
But then when I learned, so I knew when I heard about Atlantis Crystal Healing, I knew I had to do that because I always had a love for crystals.
Mm.
So yeah, it's much more powerful than what just regular, crystal healing is, or was what people do sometimes, or they say this is your birthstone, or things like that. That's
Mm.
not comparable. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, how very interesting. Like I was never into crystals growing up, or even when I was already far into, yeah, different healing modalities and therapies, and because my background is a therapist background, I would have never thought I would do crystal healing.
Hmm.
It's just when you actually realize this is a completely different crystal healing we are talking about, then I had my, oh yeah, this is definitely something I want, because what it does and what it, yeah, what you're capable of, and that, yeah, and it's not just about crystals as such. It's about initiations, is about you being the instrument of that process. Like you work together with that crystal. It's not just the crystals. Yeah, it's the process and the communication, and then what happens. I find it such a beautiful work, and beautiful
Crystals
way
are
of
activated,
helping.
right? And not all crystals that you find, most of them are sleeping. And
Mm.
with the Atlantis crystal healing, the first thing is when we get our crystals, they have been awakened,
Yeah,
activated for
yeah.
this to work. And I think the reason it is so powerful is because it we also have a cellular crystalline structure in our cells, and so it's a really good medium to remind the body of its original function in the cells. So that's why I think it works so well. It's because
Mm.
the body is a lot like it. Crystals, water, all that's kind of
Yeah, the
part of our nature.
compatibility. Mm. And then we have crystals, and then we have the fire. Do you maybe want to say a few words about the latest tool that we acquired this summer, the Atlantis Crystal Healer Peace Fire?
It's a really powerful tool, again, like all other tools, and it's good to for places. It's good for people. You can guide everyone into a meditation and bring them into their own peace and own connection, to themselves. Essentially, yeah. I like fire in general. I've always played with fire. My sister said to me just not long ago. She said, "I never really understood how you could just like." Put your hand in the fire and build fire as a child, she's like, I was always scared of it. And you were just like into the fire. But I'm not a good swimmer. I don't like the water too much. I'll be
I'll
drunk.
fire.
Yeah.
How do you feel what is required to get where we all want to get, as in living freedom, living happiness, being all well within and outside?
To realize that we are unconditional, happy, loving beings that have been given everything that they could ever dream of or need or whatever, and that we remember this. That's all it takes for each one of us, and each one of us has that opportunity now. Some of us take it and others don't, and that's okay too.
And we are here to support those who want to be supported.
Yes, of course, it's easier to wake up when some of that fog, dust,
Yeah.
polish you a little bit like a diamond.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all had countless treatments and trainings and support, and it's been a journey. It's
Mm.
not easy. It's like with anything else that you want to learn, whether it's a language, or now I'm looking into doing pottery, and I realize what all that entails. So it's a path. It's also not you get one session and you're all of a sudden enlightened. It's a start. It's like bit by bit, and find yourself somebody that can take you by the hand and maybe start with meditation. And yeah, just it's important to develop a routine and get the right support. If it resonates with your heart. And it's also a field that is, I find, important to invest in, because a lot of people say, or maybe not put so much value there, or spend money on somebody maybe trying to help them figure out what it is it that they want, or what's the next step for them. They feel like they need to figure that out themselves. But it's like with everything else. You can try to figure it out yourself, but it's going to take a lot longer. And the question is, do you save money if you try to figure it out yourself, and it takes you 3 years, whereas somebody else could do it in a week with you. So it's always a question of priority. And for me, I've always been worth investing into myself. Like, nobody can take that away from me anymore. Some people have houses can get burnt down. You constantly have to fix stuff. uh, yes, I would also like to have a house, but my first house, I kind of invested
Mm.
in here. So yeah, I'm grateful for it, and I'm confident that good times are coming. There's so much grace coming that we can't even imagine. And the question is, are we going to be here for it?
Yeah. I'm definitely up for embracing the new times in the best shape and form possible. because yeah, life is for living really, and enjoying
Yeah.
and feeling it out in your body.
Mhm. Exactly. It's about enjoying, and we can enjoy life when we are fully in our bodies, when we can fully feel our bodies, and when we're connected, when we
Mm.
have brought everything into this body that is still waiting there for us. And
Mm.
then, yeah,
Yeah, all of those
we have great
things.
tools for that.
Oh, I've really enjoyed our little coffee chat here. Feels almost like it's Christmas special because Christmas is so close.
I would like to see you put your Christmas hat on. That's
You know, I will do.
Be Santa.
This because this is the Christmas special,
Yay.
and I'll say very shortly. If you want to find Maris or any other Atlantis Crystal Healer in whichever country you're searching for, or you want to become an Atlantis Crystal Healer, please visit our website, because all the profiles of practitioners and information about trainings and many other things that you potentially could be interested in, they are all on our lovely website.
Yes.
And see
And
you
I speak
soon.
German and English, so
Yes.
not French is my French is not good enough to be doing treatments. I have silent treatment.
No, we do the languages and the crystal languages, and that's perfectly fine and enough. And yeah, and much love to you all watching. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you for watching.
Bye bye, Maris.
Bye.